I'm Christopher Blake. For 12 years, Marcus Donovan was my best friend. We met freshman year at UCLA, roommates in the dorms, study partners for finance classes. We graduated together, moved to Seattle together, built our careers side by side. I'm a commercial real estate developer, started with small apartment renovations, worked my way up to luxury condos and mixed-use developments. By my mid-30s, I had a portfolio worth $50 million. Not billionaire money, but comfortable. Very comfortable. Marcus became a corporate attorney, mergers and acquisitions, big clients, bigger deals. He made partner at 32. We celebrated at Canlis, overlooking Lake Union, toasting to success and friendship. Our wives became friends too. Marcus married Elena, a pediatrician. I married Rachel, a marketing director at a tech startup. We spent Thanksgivings together, New Year's Eves, summer weekends at my cabin on Whidbey Island. Marcus was the disciplined one, up at 5 a.m. every morning, 10-mile runs before work, never drank, never complained, always composed, always in control. Rachel admired that about him. "Marcus is so disciplined," she'd say over breakfast. "Up at 5 a.m. every day, runs marathons, never drinks, never complains." "He's always been like that," I'd reply, scrolling through emails on my phone. "How you should be more like him, Chris. He's got his life together." I'd laugh. "I'm doing fine, Rach. We're doing fine." "I know. I just mean, Marcus is the kind of man everyone should aspire to be. He's successful but humble, driven but balanced, you know?" It became a running theme over the past year. Marcus this, Marcus that, his work ethic, his integrity, his success, the way he treated Elena, the way he managed his career. I didn't mind. He was my best friend. Of course, my wife admired him. I admired him too. But looking back now, I should have noticed the pattern, the way Rachel's eyes lingered on him at dinner parties, the way she'd mention him in conversations that had nothing to do with him, the way she'd compare me to him subtly, constantly. Then came the business trip. I was supposed to be in Portland for 3 days. Major development deal, a downtown high-rise project with investors from California. Meetings scheduled Tuesday through Thursday. But Tuesday morning, the lead investor called. His father had a heart attack. He needed to fly to San Diego. Everything was postponed. I caught the next flight back to Seattle. Tuesday afternoon, 2:47 p.m. I pulled into our driveway in Queen Anne, our Victorian house, the one Rachel and I had renovated together 3 years ago. Marcus's black Tesla Model S was parked in front. I frowned. Marcus worked downtown at his law firm. What was he doing at my house on a Tuesday afternoon? I walked inside. The house was quiet. Too quiet. "Rachel?" I called. No answer. I heard something upstairs. Voices, muffled, coming from our bedroom. I climbed the stairs slowly, each step creaking under my weight. Our bedroom door was closed. I stood there for a moment, hand on the doorknob. Heart pounding. Then I opened it. "Get out," I said quietly. "Chris, please, just listen. Get out." He grabbed his shirt from the chair, pulled it on, walked past me without making eye contact. I heard his footsteps on the stairs, the front door opening, closing, his car starting, driving away. I looked at Rachel. She was staring at the floor, hands trembling. "How long?" I asked. She didn't answer. "How long, Rachel?" 2 years, she whispered. 2 years. 730 days. While I was building developments, while I was working late, while I was traveling for business, my best friend and my wife. I nodded slowly, turned around, walked downstairs, got in my car, drove to the Fairmont Hotel downtown, checked into a suite, sat on the edge of the bed, stared at the wall. I didn't scream, didn't throw things, didn't cry. I just felt empty. That night, Rachel called. I didn't answer. She called again and again, 47 times over 3 days. I let every call go to voicemail. Marcus called too, 23 times. I blocked his number after the 5th call. On day 4, I went back to the house. Rachel was at work. I went straight to my home office, locked the door, and opened my laptop. I'm a real estate developer. I analyze properties. I investigate deals. I find problems before they become disasters. It's what I do. Now I was going to investigate my own life. Our home security system had cameras, front door, driveway, backyard, motion-activated cloud storage. I'd installed them 2 years ago after a string of break-ins in Queen Anne. I pulled up the footage archive, started scrolling back through the recordings. 2 years, that's what Rachel said. I found the first instance, March 17th, 2023. 1:34 p.m. Marcus's Tesla pulls into our driveway. He walks to the front door. Rachel opens it. They embrace, disappear inside. He leaves at 4:22 p.m., nearly 3 hours. I kept scrolling. April 3rd, 2023, 2:15 p.m. Same pattern. Marcus arrives. Rachel lets him in. He leaves 3 hours later. April 19th, 2023, 1:47 p.m. May 8th, 2023, 1:52 p.m. May 23, 2023, 2:03 p.m. Every 2 weeks. Like clockwork. Always on Tuesdays. Always in the afternoon. Always when I was at work or traveling. I counted 52 instances over 2 years. 52 times my best friend came to my house and slept with my wife. But as I dug deeper, I realized it wasn't just an affair. I checked our joint bank account, the one Rachel and I used for household expenses, found transfers I didn't recognize, $5,000 on June 12th, $8,000 on July 3rd, $12,000 on August 15th, all to an account I'd never seen before. An account with a name that made my blood run cold. Donovan Blake Properties, LLC. I'd never heard of it. I called my business attorney, David Chen, at 9 p.m. He answered on the second ring. Chris, everything okay? David, do I have any business entities with Marcus Donovan? Pause. Not that I'm aware of. Why? Can you run a search? Donovan Blake Properties, LLC. Hold on. I heard typing. Okay, there's an LLC registered in Delaware, filed 6 months ago, lists you and Marcus Donovan as 50-50 partners, capitalized at $340,000. My stomach dropped. I never signed anything. Someone did. The signature on file matches your notarized signature from your Belltown Tower deal last year. Same handwriting, same notary stamp. Forged. Marcus had forged my signature, used my identity to create a shell company. What's the LLC been used for? I asked, more typing. Looks like it purchased a property, a condo in Bellevue, 2,400 square feet. Purchase price $680,000. Financed through a mortgage, also in both your names. I never signed a mortgage. Chris, if someone's using your identity for real estate transactions, that's mortgage fraud. That's a federal crime. Send me everything you have on this LLC, every document, every transaction. I need it tonight. I'll email it within the hour. I hung up, stared at my laptop screen. My best friend hadn't just betrayed me. He'd committed fraud, used my name, my credit, my reputation. An hour later, David's email arrived. Attached were incorporation documents, mortgage applications, bank statements, property records. The condo address, 1847 Bellevue Way, NE, Unit 12B. I drove there, pulled into the parking garage, found Unit 12B on the 12th floor. I used the key code I found in the LLC documents, 0317, March 17th, the date of their first meeting. The door unlocked. I walked inside. It was furnished. Lived in. A 2-bedroom condo with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Washington. Modern furniture, expensive art on the walls, photos everywhere. Photos of Marcus and Rachel, smiling, happy, at restaurants, at the beach, at Pike Place Market. They'd built a second life, a second home, using my name, my credit, my money. I walked through every room, documented everything with my phone. The bedroom, the closet full of Rachel's clothes. The bathroom with 2 toothbrushes. The kitchen with groceries in the fridge. In the home office, I found more documents. Bank statements showing monthly transfers from our joint account. $5,000, $8,000, $12,000. All going to pay the mortgage, the HOA fees, the utilities. They'd been living here, planning their future, while I paid for it. I found a folder labeled Exit Strategy. Inside were divorce papers, pre-filled, ready to file, dated for next month. They were going to divorce their spouses, move in together permanently, keep the condo, and I'd be left with nothing, my name attached to a fraudulent mortgage I never signed. I took photos of everything, every document, every receipt, every piece of evidence. Then I called my attorney again. David, I need you to do 3 things. First, file for divorce, immediately. Second, freeze all joint accounts. Third, contact the FBI. I have evidence of mortgage fraud, identity theft, and wire fraud. Chris, are you sure? The FBI means criminal charges. I'm sure. Send me the paperwork. I'll sign tonight. I drove back to the Fairmont, sat in my suite, looked at the photos on my phone. My best friend, my wife, my money, my name. They'd taken everything. Now I was going to take it all back. I was waiting in the living room of our house. I'd moved back in that morning, changed the locks. She had to use her key 3 times before realizing it didn't work. She knocked. I opened the door. Chris, we need to talk. No, I said. We don't. I've filed for divorce. You'll be served tomorrow morning. Her face went pale. Please, just listen. I know about the condo, the LLC, the forged signatures. The $340,000 you and Marcus stole from our joint account to fund your second life. She stepped back. Chris, I didn't know. You didn't know he was forging my signature? You didn't know you were living in a condo purchased with stolen money? You didn't know about the exit strategy folder with divorce papers ready to file? Silence. I've contacted the FBI, I continued. They're opening an investigation into mortgage fraud and identity theft. You and Marcus used my name to buy property without my knowledge or consent. That's a federal crime. Mortgage fraud carries up to 30 years in federal prison. Chris, please. Marcus said it was an investment, that you'd agreed to it, that it was a surprise for me. A surprise? You've been sleeping with him for 2 years. You've been living in that condo, planning to leave me. And you expect me to believe you thought it was a surprise? She sat down on the porch steps, started crying. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. We can work through this. No, we can't. You didn't just have an affair. You committed fraud. You stole from me. You built a second life with my best friend using my money, my name, and my credit. I loved you. No. You loved the stability I provided while you built your exit plan with Marcus. There's a difference. I handed her a folder. Divorce papers. Prenup is enforceable. You get nothing. And given the fraud conviction you're about to face, you won't be able to contest it. Where's Marcus? She whispered. I don't know. He's not answering calls, probably lawyering up. She looked up at me. What happens now? You find somewhere else to stay. This is my house. My name is on the deed. You have 1 hour to pack a bag. After that, all communication goes through attorneys. I walked inside, closed the door. 1 hour later, I heard her car pull away. I sat in the living room, in the house I'd renovated, in the life I'd built. And for the first time in 4 days, I felt something other than emptiness. I felt clarity. Marcus was arrested 3 weeks later at his law firm, charged with wire fraud, mortgage fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. The evidence was overwhelming. Forged signatures, bank records, security footage, text messages between him and Rachel planning the scheme. His law firm fired him immediately. The Washington State Bar Association disbarred him. His wife Elena filed for divorce, took their house in Madison Park, their savings, their investments, everything. Rachel was charged as a co-conspirator. The prosecutors had emails, text messages, bank records showing she knew about the fraud, that she'd helped plan it. The trial took 8 months. Marcus tried to claim I'd known about the LLC, that I'd approved the condo purchase, that it was all a misunderstanding. But the forensic document analysis proved the signatures were forged. The handwriting expert testified. The notary confirmed she'd never notarized any documents for me related to Donovan Blake Properties. Marcus was convicted on all counts, sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. Rachel took a plea deal, testified against Marcus in exchange for probation, 3 years supervised release, $200,000 in restitution. A felony record that would follow her forever. Our divorce was finalized while she was awaiting sentencing. The prenup held. She got nothing. The fraud conviction voided any claim to community property. I sold our house in Queen Anne. Too many memories, too much betrayal embedded in the walls. Bought a penthouse in downtown Seattle, Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Elliott Bay and the Olympic Mountains. 3 bedrooms. Home office with a view of the Space Needle. Expanded my real estate development company. Took on bigger projects. A 40-story luxury condo tower in Belltown. A mixed-use development in Capitol Hill. My portfolio grew from $50 million to $200 million in 2 years. I traveled. Tokyo for a hotel development deal, Dubai for a high-rise consultation, Barcelona for a conference on sustainable architecture. Built a life that didn't need anyone else's approval, anyone else's admiration, anyone else's betrayal. 3 years after the divorce, I was having coffee at a cafe in Pike Place Market when I saw her. Rachel, thinner, tired, wearing a barista apron, working behind the counter. She saw me. Froze. I walked up to the register. "Hi, Chris," she said quietly. "Rachel. I work here now, trying to rebuild. It's hard with a felony record." "No one wants to hire someone who committed fraud." I nodded. "I imagine it is." "I'm sorry for everything. I know that doesn't mean anything now, but I needed to say it." "Okay." Marcus wrote me from prison, asked me to visit, to wait for him. I didn't go. "Good." She looked at me. "Do you ever think about what we had, before everything fell apart?" "Sometimes," I said. "Then I remember you chose my best friend over me. Built a second life with him, stole from me, committed fraud using my name, and I stopped thinking about it. I made a terrible mistake." "Yes, you did." I paid for my coffee, turned to leave. "Chris," she called. I looked back. "Are you happy?" I thought about it. My penthouse, my company, my freedom, the projects I was building, the life I'd created without her, without Marcus, without anyone who'd ever betrayed me. "Yeah," I said. "I am." I walked out of the cafe, into the Seattle rain, never looked back. The best revenge, I learned, wasn't revenge at all. It was building a life so successful, so fulfilling, so complete, that the people who betrayed you became footnotes in a story you barely remembered. A story where you were the only one who mattered,